Enigma renderings, where stories whisper through shadows.
Greetings, listeners of the unseen, and welcome back to Enigma Renderings, where stories whisper through shadows. For those learning English, let this be your companion, where language immerses you through sound, tension, and silence. You're listening to Enigma Renderings, your home for cinematic storytelling in English. Our journey began with a single idea: to carry powerful stories beyond the borders of language. Stories born in Bengal, in Tamil, in Hindi, and across many cultures, translated into English without losing their soul. Because stories are not bound to words alone, they travel, they transform, but their essence endures. Tonight, again, we return to Bengal, to something far more familiar. Not to distant worlds or cosmic gods, but to the rain-soaked streets, quiet houses, and late-night silences we know too well. Tonight, we step into the imagination of Hemendra Kumar Roy, one of Bengal's most celebrated masters of mystery and psychological horror. A writer who understood that terror does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply calls. This is a story of isolation, of unanswered cries, and of a voice that refuses to be silenced by death. Tonight's tale is The Telephone. A chilling narrative where the boundary between life and the afterlife is no thicker than a wire, and where a single ringing bell can tear open the night. This is not a story of monsters hiding in the dark, but of what reaches out to us when we believe the darkness has already passed. So, dim the lights. Slow your thoughts. Let the world outside fade. Sit back, wear your headphones, and listen closely to Hemendra Kumar Roy's chilling tale, The Telephone.
My sleep shattered in an instant. The telephone bell. At the same moment, the wall clock screamed. Without opening my drowsy eyes, I counted midnight. Two more sounds reached my ears. Distant thunder rolling, and heavy rain pounding down. Cursing my medical profession, I jolted upright on the bed. At such a rain-soaked midnight hour, it had to be a patient. I got out of bed, picked up the receiver, and answered.
Hello?
Doctor?
Yes?
Doctor, please, come quickly.
Where?
My house, 7 Satkari Sen Street.
What's the illness?
I'm about to die. I can't breathe. I can't speak anymore. Come quickly, doctor.
No response after that. I placed the receiver down and stood, thinking what to do. A violent gust of wind struck the window. In the end, I decided to go. From inside the car, sweeping my torchlight around, I discovered number 7 on Satkari Sen Street. An old, modest, 2-storied house. Every window, even the main door, was shut from inside. Not a single line of light was visible through any crack. It was so late that I hadn't woken the driver. I had driven myself. I picked up my bag and stepped out onto the road.
Stepped onto the road? Or into a furious stream?
Water rushed past with a gurgling roar, rising up to my knees. No sign of life anywhere. It didn't feel like a world meant for humans at all. Not just people, even stray dogs, cats, owls and bats of the night seemed to have fled this world. Only the gas lamps stood silently, stunned, staring at their own trembling reflections beneath their feet. What a biting, wet wind! Is that rain, or the footsteps of nocturnal spirits? Shivering with cold, I reached the door of number 7 and knocked hard. Suddenly, the door opened. Inside the house, total darkness. I switched on my torch to see who had opened it, but found no one. I assumed perhaps a woman of the household had opened the door and hurried back inside. But what carelessness! They called a doctor in the dead of night and hadn't even lit a lantern. Stepping a few paces into the darkness, irritated, I called out, "Human eyes can't see in the dark. Please arrange some light." A voice replied, deep, harsh, and unnervingly grave.
There is no light, and no one to show you light. Proceed with your torch. The stairs are on the right. Go up to the first floor. The patient is in the first room on the left.
Who was speaking? From where? I swept the torchlight around. Ahead, only a narrow corridor. A roof above, walls on both sides. Not even a shadow of a person. The voice had clearly seen me, otherwise it wouldn't have mentioned my torch. Then why couldn't I see it?
Doctor, why are you standing there like a fool? Come up.
A voice, not of this world, as if coming from very near, and at the same time from very far away. My chest began to thud violently. The main door rattled loudly, and a rain-soaked gust of wind burst inside, wailing like grief itself. I didn't wait any longer. Ashamed of my own weakness, I moved forward. I climbed the stairs on the right, and with growing astonishment, noticed that each step was covered with nearly half an inch of dust. Not a single footprint, as if no human had climbed these stairs for years. Another sensation gripped me. An unimaginable presence. Dead or alive, surrounded me on all sides. As if something unseen watched my every step with wakeful, eyeless eyes. Again and again, my body shuddered so violently that I stopped, wondering, should I abandon this unnatural house and go back outside? A mocking voice spoke again.
Doctor, how many nights have you spent handling bones of the dead? How many rotting corpses have you cut open to earn your medical degree? Then why are you afraid now?
To hide my thoughts, I straightened myself and said firmly, I'm not afraid.
But you're trembling.
I'm cold. The wind is freezing. A dry, muffled, ugly laugh echoed. Rage surged through my manhood. I shouted, I didn't come here to listen to anyone laugh. I came to see a patient. From the room on the left came the reply.
Excellent. Come inside. Open the door.
I pushed the door. It didn't open.
Can't you see? The door is chained from outside.
So it was. I removed the chain and pushed the door open. And from inside burst out a blast of air, cold as Himalayan snow. My teeth chattered as I staggered back. That terrifying voice now spoke in a tone twisted by unbearable agony.
Come, don't delay anymore. I can't breathe. I can't speak. Doctor.
Steadying myself, I stepped inside. Pitch darkness. The stench of a decomposing corpse hit my nose. Ignoring it, I was about to switch on my torch when a voice said sharply,
Don't turn on the light, Doctor. Don't turn on the light.
Why?
You'll be terrified. You'll faint.
Is some madman hiding here, speaking to me? Or is someone playing a practical joke? Impatiently, I said, How strange. If I don't turn on the light, how am I supposed to examine the patient?
Then turn it on.
So, I turned it on. On the bed, wrapped in a filthy sheet, lay a long, motionless body. At a glance, it was clear. This was an old corpse, yet it had neither rotted nor melted away. But what a terrifying face. The eyebrows had risen far up the forehead, and the eyes had sunk so deep into their sockets that they were barely visible at all. The mouth gaped open in such a dreadful manner that merely looking at it made my chest tighten in fear. And the most horrifying sight of all, from inside that open mouth, worms after worms were writhing and crawling out in endless lines. I stood, frozen, stunned, my eyes fixed in disbelief. Oh God, is this my patient?
Doctor, I can no longer endure this torment of death. Come quickly. Can't you see? I am being attacked by swarms of hellish creatures. Drive these worms away. Drive them away.
I now understood clearly. That thrilling, inhuman voice was emerging from within that gaping mouth. And something even stranger, the voice was indeed coming from the mouth, yet the corpse's lips did not move even slightly. Moment after moment passed through my paralyzed state of shock. Then, before my very eyes, the corpse began to rise, swaying gently, slowly, slowly, slowly. But the way it sat up made it seem as though it wasn't rising on its own, as if someone unseen was lifting it up by force. Its head hung limply over its shoulders, its arms twitched. But the one lifting it, where was it? Where? It was completely invisible. Suddenly, the head dangling over the shoulders slowly straightened. Slowly, it turned toward me. From deep within the hollow eye sockets, something began to gleam, like two jets of red fire. At that instant, as if struck by a surge of electricity, all my paralysis shattered. With a single leap, I rushed out of the room and tumbled noisily down the stairs, hardly knowing how, and immediately behind me came that supernatural voice, chasing me.
Doctor, 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 doctor.
Three days later, gathering my courage, I returned one morning to number 7, Satkari Sen Street. I saw the main door locked. On the wall hung a notice. "This house is to let." Bewildered, I stood thinking, when a voice from behind asked,
Dr. Babu, why are you here?
I turned and saw a familiar man. He lived in the same neighborhood. I said, "3 days ago I came to see a patient in this house, but today I find the door locked." He replied,
Dr. Babu, you must be mistaken. This house has been vacant for over a year. It has a terrible reputation. No one wants to rent it.
Suppressing the truth, I asked, "Who was the last tenant?"
Bhubaneswar Babu,
"Where is he now?"
in the afterlife.
"Did he die in this house?"
Yes, he died suddenly due to cardiac failure. He had no relatives. The neighbors arranged his cremation.
But does the afterlife also have telephone connections? Because Bhubaneswar Babu has contacted me several times since then. Every Saturday night at exactly midnight, the telephone rings. And in that dreadful voice, I hear,
Doctor, 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 please, come quickly, quickly.
Whether Bhubaneswar Babu still calls me today, I do not know. Because now, on Saturday nights, I no longer answer the telephone.
And so the story ends. Not with closure, but with a ringing that never truly stops. Because some horrors do not stalk us in shadows. They reach us through the familiar, through wires through walls, through voices we once trusted. The telephone is not a story about ghosts alone. It is a story about connection that refuses to die, about guilt that survives the grave, about a call that should never have been answered, yet always is. Death, it seems, is not always the end of communication. Some voices do not fade with the body. They linger, waiting for silence, waiting for midnight, waiting for you to listen. You have been listening to Enigma Renderings, a place where forgotten stories are given new voice, where English is learned through atmosphere, tension, and pause, and where silence speaks louder than words. Until next time, dim the lights, slow your thoughts, and listen carefully. Because when the telephone rings in the dead of night, it may not be calling from this world.
Doctor.
Good night from Enigma Renderings.
Where stories whisper through shadows.